All right, so just 24 hours ago, martial law was declared in South Korea. This was the first time this has happened since 1978. And when martial law was enacted in 1978, it was because the president was assassinated. So I'm an American expatriate living here in South Korea with my wife. I'm a school teacher. And at 11 p.m. on December 3rd, 2024, President Yoon went live on air and basically made a speech about how there was North Korean sympathizers in the government. He thought things were going in the wrong direction. And in order to right that wrong, he went ahead and enacted martial law, which was wild. It lasted until about 5:30 a.m. the next morning, which is roughly 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard U.S. time. And my wife immediately notified me about everything. She had kind of woken me up and let me know about all the emergency alerts, the messages she was getting from friends and family that this had been enacted. And I was in pure shock. My first reaction was that North Korean troops had blown by the DMZ, the border, and they were pushing in towards Seoul. Either that or that North Korean troops were amassing at the DMZ, at the border between both countries, and that an attack was imminent. And what most people don't know, and what I didn't even learn until I moved here, was that the Korean border between North and South Korea, the DMZ, it is only about 35 to 40 minutes away from the capital of Seoul. It's very close. So if North Korea decides to send over 30,000 troops and push Seoul, of course there's U.S. forces here, there's the ROK Army, but they're not far from the capital. And in the capital, I would say there's close to 25 or about 20 million people living in this area around the surrounding cities and counties of Seoul. It's a huge area. It's 50% of South Korea's population. Luckily, it wasn't because of that. It was because of political turmoil between President Yoon and the opposition party, and him and his wife have been taking. You can look it all up online, but he basically lashed out, and it's his final cry of authority because most likely within the next 48 hours he's either going to resign or be impeached. And shout out to Korean Parliament. Even though martial law was declared, Korean Parliament met, and 190 representatives out of 190, all 190 voted against martial law, even people on President Yoon's side of the aisle, which is impressive. So even though we see a lot of news circulating about democracy is fragile here, well, you want to look at not just the president, look at Parliament. And Parliament showed up and did their job and upheld Korea's role as a democracy here in East Asia. So connecting this to Bitcoin, all right, because that's kind of investing is what this channel is about. But I'm over here and I want to give you some insight. You know, aside from United States soldiers over here, I would say the vast majority of American expatriates here get paid in Korean won, the Korean dollar. And since this incident, the Korean won has taken a big hit. If I were to have all my savings in the Korean dollar right now, I would have lost a decent amount of money, right? Luckily, and I started doing this at the beginning of the year, I have taken all my extra money, and yes, I have an investment plan for Nvidia and Bitcoin, but I have taken all my extra money, fiat, Korean fiat, and I convert that directly into Bitcoin. All of it. To the point where when it's at the end of the month and I'm about to get paid on the 5th, like for example, right now I get paid tomorrow, I have about $25 in my account because I'm sending every possible dollar, penny, whatever, and putting it towards Bitcoin. All right. And that's the kind of thing, guys, we've heard from Michael Saylor. Okay. We hear about how Bitcoin, it's decentralized. If I had to up and leave, if martial law was declared and 190 parliament members say, hey, we're with President Yoon, we want the power, and the military controls everything, I got to get out of here. And me taking my Korean cash, that's going to be a problem, number one, And number two, um, have fun losing all that extra money because the rest of the world is frowning upon South Korea right now and is not seeing it as a stable country, a stable investment. Luckily, I have it all on Bitcoin, right? So it is a very powerful investment. You guys have heard firsthand why you should convert your fiat into Bitcoin. And this is a perfect example why. As an American living and working in a foreign country, right? If I were to have my cash in the Korean bank right now, it would be hard to take all that cash out, right? And again, you lose the value of your dollar because of these events. And it's just a very powerful thing. If I had to up and leave, I could take my cold wallet and just bounce. My wife has mentioned multiple times about wanting to purchase real estate in South Korea. Imagine if I held a significant amount of my portfolio you know in a home here. All right, and martial law is declared. I can't pick up the home and just leave. And you think it's going to be a good investment? You think anyone's going to be, you know, the price of the house is going to go up after that? Most likely not. So this is just a real world example of the power of Bitcoin, and I've just experienced it myself here, and I'm experiencing it right now because although martial law was lifted, we don't really know what's going to happen. What's President Yoon going to do? Is he going to be impeached? Is he going to be resign? What are the events that are going to follow what just happened here less than 24 hours ago? So that's kind of the power of Bitcoin, guys. Definitely recommend taking your cash, convert it to Bitcoin. It's what I've been doing, and I'm very happy about it. So that's the video. If you enjoy the content, please like, comment, subscribe, and I really appreciate all 7 of you who tuned in. Thank you. See ya.